Waiting is a familiar experience. It is certainly something that each and every single one of us has experienced at one time or another. Longfellow wrote, "All things come round to him who will but wait." A saying which is commonly rephrased or has said more often than not, I know I've heard it said to me repeatedly, is all things come to those who wait. There are old songs that have the word wait in them. For example, "Wait till the sun shines, Nelly," "Wait for me, Mary," and "My Father watches over me," an old hymn. So as we wait and when we watch, we do so with patience. I've traveled a little bit, not as much as some people, I suppose, but a little bit more than what I ever thought I would. And I've had to wait in a airport once or twice, sometimes for several hours. It can be very tiresome, very tiresome. But sometimes something special happens when you wait. And if you wait long enough and you look around and you realize that you're not alone and that there's more fun in waiting when you're together than when you're alone. And this is what happened to a group of passengers that were waiting for a flight that had been delayed for several hours. And they were all there with their bags and their luggage, and they were waiting in the waiting room. This was, of course, when you could wait in a waiting room. And it was September 27th, 2019. And as they waited, all of a sudden, something pretty spectacular happened. I hope you've had the opportunity to follow along with these videos with our text that we handed out as the Word, and the Word was God. Let's turn to that right now. And we are in Thursday, the second week of Advent, or the second Thursday of Advent, as it were. And the title of today's devotional is Watching and Waiting. Here's the verse that we have for today's devotional. It's found in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand at my watchpost and station myself on the rampart. I will keep watch to see what he will say to me. And again, the title of today's devotional is Watching and Waiting. Let's look at our first reading. Those who were waiting had each received a promise that gave them courage and allowed them to wait. They received something that was at work in them, a seed that had started to grow. This is very important for us because we too can wait only if what we are waiting for has already begun for us. Waiting is never a movement from nothing to something. It is always a movement from something to something more. And that's found in the Finding My Way Home text, pages 96 to 98. Waiting is tough. Waiting is not easy to do. And especially watching and waiting. I think we are geared to go from wanting to be a spectator to wanting to be a participant. We're more inclined to want to participate than to watch. We're more inclined to want to get in and get going than to wait. And there are many things that this is applicable to, but I think of what your call is, what my call is. What is it that God would have us do? What is it that God would want for us to provide the kingdom? And are we waiting on that call? It's okay to wait. The call is the beginning. And it's okay to step back and say, okay, God, show me the direction I must go. And sometimes God says, wait. I have it for you. It's part of the plan. It's just not according to your timetable. It's according to my timetable. And we have to step back and let God do his work. Let's continue reading. I've often heard people say, I wish I had more faith. In a way that sounded like faith was a quantitative commodity that could be acquired. God offers to each person the gift of faith. All of the faith that we will ever need has been given to us simply by God's grace. His invitation is to all and in equal amounts. We simply need to accept it. Still, we can grow in faith, as it were, by being open to its effects in our lives. I've thought a lot about this paragraph and wondered if, is the author just really talking semantics here? And I don't think so. I think sometimes we get confused with faith. We think of faith as something that can fill a cup. You could get a lot of it, you could get a little of it, and that's not the case at all. And I think it's very important that we realize that we've been given all the faith that we need. What we need is to grow it, to strengthen it, I coached football for a lot of years, and I'm thinking about what it takes to be an athlete and what it takes to be a football player. You can't just walk on the field and say, hey, coach, I'm your linebacker. I'm here to start for you. It's not going to work that way. There's hours spent in the weight room, hours spent training and going over plays and going over defensive formations and blitzes and how to react to different offensive sets and different coverages that you would be in as far as pass coverage. Hopefully you're already going, I wish you'd stop talking about this. There's a lot to do. And it's the same with our faith. If we just step up and say, hey, I'm here, God, I'm ready. O ye of little faith. Grow your faith. How do you do that? You exercise it. You exercise it in the Word. You exercise it through study. You exercise it through committing the Word to memory, to participating in church, to maybe it's leading a Sunday school, maybe it's leading a children's group, maybe it's being a part of the choir, whatever it might be that allows you to exercise and grow your faith. Let's continue reading. Our attitude this Advent can reveal much about our faith. Amid our holiday plans, do we make time to pray more? To act more attentively toward those who are in need? To discern the ways of thinking and acting that keep us from Christ and turn our wills toward Him instead? This season is an opportunity to grow in faith. And in doing so, we become more attentive to God's action throughout our lives every day. You want to grow your faith? It starts with this very, very simple prayer. Lord, I believe. Amen. Amen, Karcher.